So what's up guys, so Amu here from Amu Photography, and we're going to do some bit of tutorials today. So I posted an image on my Insta story on like 4 steps to begin with, like edits that you need to do to make your picture stand out, and I did some 4 steps and I posted them, and I think we're going to do them right here right now. So this is an image we took at Elementator. We had an Insta meet. It was really awesome. We had some fun, met up with some dope photographers, models and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So this is Simon from Simon Music, and yeah, we're going to edit him today. So I'm not going to go a lot on Lightroom. Maybe I'll do it as a separate video, but yeah, I'm not going to do on the adjustments and stuff. I actually made a preset we're going to like just drop it there, click it, and boom, everything goes like that. All the adjustments, they're just there. And this is our before and this is our after. So this is Lightroom, and yeah, I didn't want to go all around with how I achieved all this. Maybe I can do it on a separate video upon request, but yeah. So I edited in Photoshop, and I actually already have it on Photoshop, so let's dive right into Photoshop. So you left click, this dialog comes up, then you choose Adobe Photoshop CS. According to whichever Photoshop you use, I am currently using the latest CC 2018, and yeah, Photoshop. And there goes our image. Let me delete. And there goes our image straight from Lightroom. All these, everything. And we're actually going to do our first step. We're going to try and remove all the small spots and stuff, everything we feel like we don't need on the image. So Control J, duplicate the layer. And I actually prefer, you could use a spot healing brush or cloning tool, but I usually prefer a healing brush, which is most recommended by a lot of people. And we're just going to remove some small minor spots that we don't need on the image. Also remember to always duplicate your layer before you actually start. So I'm gonna do double there. Sample, you alt, then right click, sample. So alt, right click, a left click, it's usually you sample around the place, and yeah, it automatically finds so as you can see, this is after and before. After. We could try scan around, just play around and try to find stuff we don't actually need. So as I was looking at the image, I thought this part I didn't need, so it's not the best way to do it, but I'll just do it. Patch tool. So I'm gonna use my patch tool and actually try to crop this out a little bit. So I'm going to go somewhere I feel it's gonna hide that. So let's wait and see what happens. Taking some time. So content on words, no, let me just use the normal one and try blend it somewhere like that. Not bad. Can try take this part, blend it somewhere there. Not bad. So that's not bad. Actually this looks cool and I can remove it if I wanted to, but I don't want. Looks like one of its own, though it's like the reflection of the other one. So basically that's all these things we don't need in the image. And so we're going to merge. I usually merge the layers and start working on a background. So the next thing we're also going to do is duplicate. We're going to do some frequency separation. It's basically smoothing out the skin. And like I said in my Instagram post, since he is a guy, we don't have to do a lot of like major frequency separation because you want the image to look as natural as possible. So as you see, like I had duplicate the background twice and I made two layers. So the first one I called it high and the other one low. So basically the high one, the high layer, we're going to use that to like all the details in our image. That's basically going to take care of all the details and everything. And the low layer is actually gonna be working on the smoothness of the skin and the colors in the image. So the first step, we have to turn off the visibility of the high and go to the filter, then noise, fine noise, yeah, there it is, then dust and scratches. So basically here's what I do. Dust and scratches, I usually use the eye to help me know when to stop. So basically, as you can see from here, if we go very high, the image becomes a bit oily and we don't want that. So basically we have to go as minimum as possible. So let's do 6 is not bad. So you have to look at the, what do you call these, pupils, until the pupils are like visible in the image. So you can notice the difference. The pupil is not that visible, the pupil is back, so I'll go with 6. So after that, basically this is how Photoshop works. It works with layers. So that's the layer, the background layer, then the layer after the background, and the high background. So what happens, the layer that's up, like the one which is above the other one, it's basically the one that's usually visible. So since the high layer is now is above the low layer, and like the visibility is off, so that makes this visible. But as soon as we let me show you but as soon as we turn on the visibility of the high, it comes back to normal, because this is above the low layer. So we're going to do the high layer, and we're going to go on image, then apply image. So we're going to work on details. Remember, the low layer works on colors and smoothness, and the high layer works on the details. So we're going on this part. As you go, you click on the high layer, click on the image, then apply image. After you apply image, then you're going to find this dialog box will just pop up, and we're going to choose. So basically we're on high, so we're going to do the layer below high, it's low, so we're going to choose low. So if low was high and this was below that, would choose high. It's basically the opposite, the layer below that one. And we're going to press invert, and make sure your blending mode is on add, scale is 2, and offset 0. So basically you can see it's showing details and everything. So what we do, go to the blending mode there and go to linear light, and there everything comes back to normal. So basically everything looks back to normal. And but what happens if we turn out the high layer? The oily feel comes back. And what happens if we turn off the low? See, it's more detailed. That's the highest visible, all the details are there. So let's do that, and boom, Control O to get back to Control 0 to get back to full screen. And we're going to go on low, and we're going to pick our lasso tool. Feathering, I prefer 20, and we're just going. So something I forgot to tell you, remember the dust and particle part. Always know how much of dust and scratch you had put. So remember mine was 6, so we're going to go on blur, Gaussian blur, and do 6, since that's what I used on dust and particles. So 6, and we're just going to be doing this places on the skin, and we're going to do the same thing, 6. So you can do Alt Control F, and does the same thing, same settings you had chosen. So Control Alt F, there you go. So Alt Control F. Alt Control F. There, we're also going to do it on the hands. So this is a very easy one because there's less skin involved, unlike some other pictures where you have to like edit. Alt Control F, Alt Control F. Alt Control F. Alt Control F. We're going to do this at that part of the arm. So just a rough sketch. Alt Control F. So basically that's that with our FQ. Then I'm going to mark the high, then Control G, group them, and we're going to name this FQ, frequency separation. So basically before, after, before, after, before, after. We did it at a very minimum. So yeah,